Here we are at Hammertown Lake. Going to take a little kayak time, and Mary Catherine's getting her safety jacket on. And this is Hammertown Lake in Jackson, Ohio. This is where we get our water supply from for the city of Jackson and the surrounding area. All right, shoving off. Nice little thing they built here for Jackson. Whoa. Mary Catherine's ahead of me there. And it's the next to last week in October. This coming Friday will be the Halloween, the 31st. So the leaves are kind of dull, but they never did get really bright this year. And I'm in a new kayak to me. This is a kayak I got from my cousin Marcia. She wanted a smaller kayak to go in her truck, and this is about 2 feet longer than what the kayaks we had. So far so good with it. Seems to rock a little more than my kayak did. I'm talking to the camera. Turn a little bit so you can see the hillside. And you see most of the leaves are gone. What's left is pretty brown. Not sure the size of this lake or the depth, although once dropped 60 foot of anchor towards the dam and it did not touch bottom. Done a little bit of fishing out here when I was younger, and it really did a lot of good. They have a trout festival here every year. I believe maybe they didn't have it this year, but normally every year where they release trout into it. High Department of Natural Resources does, and they have that. I think it's the first or second Saturday in April. And I participated in that a few times. It was very crowded. But they have drawings and, you know, food trucks, stuff like that. Point the camera down a little bit. I think I was taping the sky. Let's turn around and see where Mary Catherine is. Coming back to see ya. You're moving pretty good. Lots of little coves like this around the lake. You can zip in and zip back out. It's pretty, even though the leaves are about done. It's pretty out here. I hear some people getting their guns sighted in for deer season. Here, I'll get a picture of you. Maybe. Paddling towards the end of one of the ends of the lake, and we'll see if we can go all the way up to there, and then we'll turn around and go on the other side of the bank. Haven't seen another soul on the lake today. It's pretty peaceful. Water's very calm. It's about 55 degrees right now. Not too bad on a Saturday. It's been over a year since I was out here, and it kind of deceived me a little bit because I thought I was closer to the end than I am. When we go around this little bend here, you'll see that there's still quite a ways to go. And you can see the tree line up there where the end is. Another little cove. I was just telling the camera there's another little cove to go down, but I'm going to bypass it. Well, what I showed you earlier wasn't quite the end. You can see ahead, there's the end of one of the ends of the lake. We've been paddling and floating for maybe 40 minutes. And we went to the left off of the dock. You can go to the right off the dock and it's just about the same distance. So we went to the left because last year we saw an eagle nesting in a tree, but haven't seen anything out here, and the only thing we've heard and seen are squirrels. Actually, Mary Catherine had her Merlin bird app on, and found, you know, she heard with the sound, she heard a couple new birds for her. So we did hear birds. The sun was trying to peek out a little bit ago, and I thought maybe the leaves might pop a little bit more, but they're just beyond peak, if there was a peak this year. And it's about as good as it's going to get. Trying to get this here so you can see it, but there's a big bee's nest up here. Yeah, they built it right on the limb. Looks like we got some branches and trees almost. I guess I could get on the other side of it, but we're going to call this quits and then turn around and head back on the other side. But right there is the edge or the end of the lake. Okay, we turned around and are heading up the other way. Mary Catherine's leading the pack right now. She's probably thirsty. We forgot to bring water with us. Hope you saw that big bee's nest, but Mary Catherine got a still shot of it that I can throw in to the video if the video didn't turn out showing it very well. I got my GoPro on my chest harness, but I think it might have been better on a head harness. That way you could kind of see what I'm looking around at. Instead, you get to see what the canoe or what the kayak is pointed at. It's a GoPro 12, Hero 12, by the way, black. Used it a few times, used it on a rail adventure excursion, rail explorers. Couple videos with that, I think, and used a wrist mount with that, and then used it in Alaska, which I haven't posted that video yet as of this recording, but there's it did a pretty good job up there too, especially handling the conditions that we were out on the deck of the in Glacier Bay, and it was cold, wet, rainy, slightly almost freezing rain type. But, so starting to use it more and more. Ahead is what we used to call the back way to the lake, and someone has just pulled in there with a truck, and that's where me and my grandparents usually fished, off those rocks there. So I said that's where my grandparents and I fished a lot. My grandparents were known as Ma and Pa to me. And the thing is, Pa didn't fish a whole lot. He ended up having a beverage or two and then taking a nap. And Ma and I fished most of the time. One thing we always did too, we fished with night crawlers, it seemed like. And then we always had a bucket of KFC chicken. And KFC chicken takes on a different taste after you've handled a nightcrawler or two. It's pretty right through here with the rocks. Through here? I thought it was on up.
It may have been on up.
Oh. A lot warmer weather when we saw him though. He's probably moved out of the county by now. Found him a mate. No, I think you're right. I think it was up in this area here, wasn't it?
I think so. I may be wrong.
So what we're talking about right now is a bald eagle that we've seen a couple times out here, and he was perched on one of these trees right around in this area. Got a good picture when I was with my nephew out here of him flying over his head. I'll see if I can find that and put it in the video. So it took a while, but I got used to the back and forth of this kayak. It kind of a little less stable than what we have. What Mary Catherine's in is a Pelican that we got at Dick's, or yeah, I believe it was at Dick's Sporting Goods. And Marcia Lewis, my cousin that I got this from, this is an LL Bean, but without getting out and looking, I can't quite remember what kind it is. I think it's Zone Outfitter or something like that. And like I said, it's a couple feet longer than what Mary Catherine's in. It sticks to, you know, stay straight, I guess. I'm not sure what that's called. It stays straight pretty good. If it doesn't, that's probably on me, not the kayak. And like I said, it just took a while to get the balance right on it. Just not used to it. Plus, it's first time out this year. It's kind of bad when you wait till the end of October to get out, but it's just the way life is sometimes. Temperature has definitely cooled down. So up ahead, we're almost to the dock. Up ahead is the dam, if you can see it in the distance, and where the water output is, or where they take the water out and then eventually treat it for our drinking water. They do a good job here in Jackson too. Of course, I grew up with the water, so I think it's the best around, but still, they do a really good job. A little bit closer view of the dam and some communication towers in the background. So we go around this little bend here and then we'll be back at the dock area. There's people taking pictures at the dock area when we came down. Photographer had taken an old truck and they had families, or kids and families, all up in there taking pictures. This is a pretty nice little setup. So I hope you've enjoyed our little row on the lake, paddle on the lake, and maybe we'll come and do this again next summer when everything greens up and hopefully the eagle and some other wildlife are present. So I'll tape going into the dock area, and then that'll be it for the day. Thanks for watching. We're coming up to the dock area and you can see the truck there, the old truck, and people in it. Photographer taking their pictures, and to the right of that you can see the kayak rental. And I don't remember what the rates are, but it's kind of nice that the city put that together. for people who don't own a kayak but yet want to get out here and enjoy the lake. So all you do is you just paddle right back up on the kayak launch ramp that you took off from to begin with. Before this, we had to drag the kayak a little piece down a boat ramp on the other side of the main parking area. But this is a lot nicer, and then you can use the little notches with your paddles to pull yourself up. And end of the video.